Welcome to our last segment. My dear friends, thank you also for staying with us. So let us try to finish our reflection in this third segment. Let us try to reflect how to wait for the coming of Christ. We talk about the final coming of Christ. How to wait for His final coming. And before that, please allow me to share what happened to the early Christians in Thessalonica. Katawanan ini sa ngatanan. Nga naman, St. Paul went to Thessalonica. Nagtudlo siya, iyang gitudlo ang second coming. Karon, kay wa man siya katiwas og tudlo because of the opposition of the Jews in that place. Sibat siya. Pag sibat niya, wa man matarong niyang tudlo. Mauna, ang mga tao nagtuo, nahapit na gibabot ang si Kristo. Unsa may ilang gibuhat, they give up everything. Di na sila mo trabaho, wala na tanan. Mauna nga na problema sa St. Paul. Mauna, nagsuwat siya og correction, reminders ngadto sa early Christians sa Thessalonica about the teaching of the second coming of Christ. Mao ni ang iyang gisulti ngadto sa early Christians sa Thessalonica, and I really believe this is also what we can draw from the gospel today. Mingon siya, in our waiting for the coming of Christ, he said, we must wait for Jesus coming, never getting tired of doing what is right. Never getting tired of doing what is right. So, while we are waiting for His second coming, let's continue doing what is right and what is good. And let us never be tired of this. That's what He said. This is also expected from us. That should be our attitude in our waiting for His second coming. Nga naman, there is still plenty of evil in this world. Samtang naguwat na, nagpadayon sana ang mga panghitabo nga dili maayo. So, our duty as Christians, our duty as disciples of Jesus is always to foster all that is good and try to eradicate evil that is going on around us. So, tinuod na, naguwat na, sa atong pagguwat, let us not be tired in doing what is right and what is good. Nga naman, because evil things continue going on around us. Mauna nga miingon si St. Paul ngadto sa early Christians sa Thessalonica, let's continue doing good while we are waiting for the coming of Christ. Nga naman, kay wala naman sila manrabaho, wala naman sila muhimog dautan, mahimo og mga maayo, kay maabot na lagi ko nung Ginoo. That is wrong. That is wrong. Mauna, kita pod maobitaw, dili ba sa nahitabo sa kalamidad, dindot baya gyud kaayo tan-awon nga with great spontaneity mutabang ta sa relief campaign, mutabang ta sa nagalisod-lisod. That is what is right. That is what is good. Let's continue doing that while we are waiting for the coming of Christ. That's number one. And second, nindot sad kayo nga we must wait for Jesus coming, and let us also be ready to accept any kind of persecution as long as it is in the name of Jesus. Perhaps, let us try to make what we call a little definition or description what is persecution. Persecution here can also be the ups and downs of life. Persecution here can also be the low moments of our life. Persecution here can also be problems which for us too heavy to carry. Persecution here can also be mga matawag na to o mga kanang gitawag na to mga bangga sa atong kinabuhi. And then we must wait for Jesus coming, ready to accept, ready to face whatever problems that we will encounter and whatever problems that we have already encountered. So, kung imo nang tan-awon, mas nindot, mas meaningful, mas matawag na to og lively ang atong kinabuhi isip usa ka tinuod nga Kristiyano. So, therefore, let us not be discouraged, but let us always take this, what we call this, events in life nga makaingon ta na ba kay Ginoo as a proof, as a sign that the Lord will fulfill His promise. This is what Prophet Malachi said. Don't be discouraged of what's going on. It's because the Lord will fulfill His promise. The promise of salvation. The promise of life after this life. And God will bring this on His second coming. Mao ni nga nindot sad kayo sa nga tanen nga ato sad nga pamalandungan nga mingon, if we just persevere, triumph will eventually be ours. Our endurance will win us and give us the very big chance and opportunity to be with the Lord. Let us persevere. Don't be discouraged. Let's continue our journey. Embrace whatever happenings that will come to us. Always think that there is God. Let us bring our faith that God will come again and bring the gift of salvation to all of us. And in that regard, we have always hope in our life. In that regard, it's very difficult for us to be discouraged. That's number 2. Number 3, we have always to get our strength and courage, not from anything, not even from anybody, but it should be from the Lord through our prayer. Our strength, our courage should always be strengthened, no? Should always ato ginay inaris pagmaayo. It's because we do not know when will be the time of His final coming. Nobody can tell when, where, but we know with assurance from the Lord that He will come again. So, because of that, we have always to remember some human considerations, usay mapulan ang tao. Some human considerations, sometimes ma-deceive ang tao. Mauni, we are asked by the gospel today that we have always to get our strength, our courage, even our inspiration, not from anything, not even from anybody, but it should be from the Lord through our prayer. Nindot kaayo ang gisulti sa matawag na to sa balaang kasulatan ngamingon, stay awake, praying at all times for the strength to survive all that is going to happen and to stand with confidence before the Son of Man. Stay awake, praying at all times. So, we have also to develop our prayer life. We have always to strengthen ourselves and put everything in God. So, mao ni ang matawag na to og pamaagi while we are waiting for His second coming. That's number 3. Number 4, we must wait for Jesus coming with complete trust in Him at all times. Lisod man nga maghuwat ta, nya wa tayo pagsalig sa atong gihuwat. Therefore, while we are waiting for His second coming, let us give our total trust in the one who will come. And the one who will come is Jesus Himself. Mao ni nga makaingon ta sa atong kaugalingon, we are never alone in our struggles. Christ is always by our side. And let us always look at Christ as an expert in the war against the devil, whom Jesus completely defeated on the cross. So, by giving our total trust to Christ, bringing the thoughts that it was Jesus who defeated the devil, completely defeated the devil in the cross. So, by just looking at Christ, we are always inspired of our journey. By just saying the name Christ, we can always have a great consolation of our suffering. By just reading the life of Christ, by just mentioning the name of Christ, we can have a great consolation of our life in the midst of our sufferings. How great the message of the gospel. That's what I have said, that the gospel is not for us to be afraid of. Let us not make other interpretations of the Gospels in connection of what's going on in our society today. Dili na to ni i-interpretar nga katapusan sa kalibutan, but let us think of the gift of salvation of the second coming. Kanindot ka. So, my dear friends, for those of you who are following our program, for those of you who just listen to us, let us try to bring the message of Christ. Let us try to share the message of Christ, especially at this time of our sufferings. It's not easy, I know, but if we just bring the message of Christ according to the gospel which I've read, I know that there is always hope in us. And I know that there is always light waiting for us, ahead of us. Kanindot ka. So ato ning pamalandungan mga kaigsunan, o sa makausapa, ato sab na iampo ang ato mga kaigsunan who are suffering much because of the natural calamities nga miabot kanato. Let us try to reflect the message of the gospel, especially there are some of our brothers who are suffering much at this time. So let us bring this to others. And I ask all of you to pray also for our brothers and sisters who suffer much and bring the message of the gospel to them. And this is Father Joseph Intig, who is always with you, praying to all of you all the times.